action springs not from thought, but from a readiness for responsibility. The ultimate test of a moral society is the kind of world that it leaves to its children, Bonhoeffer once said.
Welcome. Thanks for joining me. Got a good video for you today. Mark Walberg out promoting his movie that came out earlier this year that they're bringing back out. What I love about this video isn't the religious implications that it brings, but it's also the fact that we're seeing another celebrity turn away from this liberal, left, anti-religion idea. As much as people may not think that these sides are picked, the religious right is called that for a reason. And so, as much as people may not want to vote for some Republicans, if you don't vote for Republicans, you're voting against your religion, because it's becoming very acceptable to ridicule Christians and get praised for it. And eventually, every religion will be attacked equally to what we're seeing towards the Christians now. So let's roll into it.
You've said this is one of the most important movies of your career. Why? I mean, I know you obviously put your money where your mouth is. You funded it yourself. Father Stuart Long was an actual person. This is based on a real life story. It made a huge splash at the box office. Well, now in an unorthodox move, Sony is bringing the movie back to theaters.
I think many people see it as unorthodox because the movie production companies don't seem to be too favorable to religion or to anything that's fundamentally of the Republican idea. So what we've traditionally seen is Hollywood be opposed to ideas of religion and movies involving religion. But as long as there's money in it, then most of the movie production companies will get involved if they can make a dollar. So this brings me to another point, which is that as you've seen with Bill Burr and a few of the other comedians who have refused to bow to the cancel culture idea of what is allowed to be talked about and what is not allowed to be talked about, you've seen an increase in their ratings, an increase and a rise in comedians like Bill Burr, for instance, who refuse to apologize. That refusal is where the money is going to. The people who are shifting away from the leftist values.
They call it Father Stu Reborn. Joining me to discuss is the film star and producer, Mark Walberg. Mark, thanks for being with us. Why did you and the studio decide to do it this way?
So because the Archbishop Thomas of Nevada, who had actually ordained Father Stu in Helena, Montana, came to me and said, Mark, I really understand why the language is there, but it would be a sin and a shame for young people not to see this movie and to really understand the importance of this story. So we wanted to make sure that we could share that with children of all ages. And so we recut the film. We took out all 200 and some odd swears. And the film is still as powerful and as impactful.
The idea that we want to bring people to religion and then we start in a movie that's filled with 200 and some odd swear words probably shouldn't have started there to begin with. I'm glad that it's being remade, and I'm super happy about that. I'm going to take my son to go see it. But the fact that it started there was kind of already closed off to begin with, and be more open to the idea of what the audience that you're trying to attract would really want, which is less swear words to start with.
Why do you think it's important for kids and families, particularly boys, to see this movie now? Mark, I know that was a goal for you, that young boys should see this with their dads.
Yeah, I really wanted young people as a whole to see it, but especially young boys, because I think you really kind of hopefully can avoid making a lot of the mistakes that Stu made and going through a lot of the struggles that he did.
We as men have a different experience growing up than other people. And our fathers, in a lot of cases, have experienced something very similar to what we've gone through or to what we will go through. And so it's important, especially with spirituality, for men to bond through this. Because men and women do have different goals and different needs in life, as much as people may not like to hear that.
I think, you know, it's a brutally honest depiction of somebody who's struggling, trying to find their own way, trying to find their calling, and kind of going through the hardships, especially living life and expressing anger in a way that is not really productive. I think Stu, if he had a chance, like all of us, to go back and do it differently, we would, but we want to prevent kids from making a lot of the same mistakes that we made, certainly mistakes that I made. So anything that we can do to kind of show them an easier path to serving God and just being positive, productive members of society and the community, and especially in the church, and gravitating towards their faith, whether that's Catholicism or Judaism or Islam or Buddhism or any other form of faith.
And let's be real. What he's talking about is the very value system that our country is missing and that we're seeing the effects of it now. I think he wants to dance around it because he's still a celebrity, and celebrities can only come out so far. We're not going to fix the problems right this second by trying to fix all the people right this second. We have to get into the youth, and we got to change our youth to believe the American values and the religious values that brought our country to this point. Not that they have to practice religion, but it helps for you to follow religious values and the very values that built this country if you do believe in a religion. I think we can all agree that somebody who shoots another person probably wasn't raised right. Probably wasn't raised to believe that it was wrong to do so. May not have been taught the firm reality that it's not okay. They may have been taught loosely by parents who are potentially criminals of themselves. And so it's a slow process, but we have to get into the youth and change them for the future. As lame as that song sounds, the children of the future, it is the reality. And the people who have ruined our country, either knowingly ruined our country through our children, or accidentally are trying to ruin our country through our children. But either way, we need to get back to the foundational principles taught into our children that built up this country to the amazingness that we're coasting on now. Thanks for hitting that like and subscribe button. Thanks to my subscribers. Thanks to my new subscribers. Thanks for watching. Later.